can see how your my quad's coming up, and then at the hip I'm hinged over. That's bad. Okay, so you don't want that tightness through there. All right, so that is how to stretch like a inflexible middle-aged male. I just want to do some stretching because I know a couple of you have asked for a stretching video. For some reason you want to see me stretch. Oh yeah, I better set up that camera as well. And to the person, Keith, who asked to see a stretching video from me, I don't know why, because I'm not very flexible. So I guess the video title could be what stretches to do if you're not very flexible. Middle-aged, unflexible male.
Hey, there's a few of us like that, Jack.
Bradley's behind the camera. Did you get yourself in the mirror so everybody sees you again?
Yeah.
Sees your smiling face?
Yeah, as less as possible. So what's Keith saying? He's not very flexible.
No, he just thought it would be a good idea to do a stretching video.
He's a machine.
Maybe we should go back the other way. You stay there. If you're looking at my face here, is it shadowy?
Yes.
Very? Okay. Come around the other way. We'll set up, we'll go around the other side. So you stand over that side and I'll go in the middle there somewhere. I can actually do a few Pilates movements.
Yeah, bring it on, Jack.
I'm not going to do it today. I think I'd have every Pilates instructor just like hounding me. Oh, that looks way better.
What can't you do, Jack?
I can do a lot of things, sometimes not very well though.
What about Metcon 20?
What about it? Did you want to video that one?
Next time.
Socks on or off?
Keep your socks on.
Okay. Keith, this is for you. Look better, my face?
Yeah, it looks much better.
Okay. Keith, this is for you. How to do stretching for an unflexible middle-aged male. Video 1. Foot up on the... This is why I didn't want to do it, it's so awkward. So I do like this one because you can do it at home. So obviously if you've got a couch, chair, anything like that, these are just a couple of my favourite stretches to do. Can you make sure I've got that recording behind you as well, please?
Yeah, how do you put this on wide angle? Don't get your quads in.
You'll have to step back a bit. Is the other phone recording?
Yep.
That one's definitely recording? Your one?
Yep.
All right, so obviously it seems pretty simple, just starting to stretch first. Obviously if you can't reach the bench or whatever, you just be up here trying to reach for it down as low as you can. I'm just easing into it. Okay, we're going to add some weight in a second. But like I said, very unflexible. And I do need to do this more often. I know there's going to be a lot of people probably in the comments just tearing shreds off everything I'm about to do. But you know what? Works for me. So I'm going to do it. All right, so I just like to stay active in my stretches. Obviously, you've got things like yoga where you are just passively stretching. I like to add a little bit of weight to these stretches. Just trying to keep my chest up, my back flat, and then letting those weights pull me down. And then I come up and back into it. Just stretching through it. Nice and easy. And then, same leg, I'm going to go out to the side, drop one dumbbell, and this just gets more, so the first one sort of just did obviously hamstrings, just going to get the groin a little bit more now. Again, just trying to keep that back flat, and we're active. A lot of people just come into the stretch and just flop down into it. Again, fine, but I'd prefer to try and use my muscles a little bit more in this stretched position. I think I've spoken about it a little bit on the podcast. Maybe Bradley, you might be able to remember how I like to say strength and flexibility are sort of the same thing. Yeah, you might be able to be flexible and get all the way to the ground, but can you hold a 5 kilo dumbbell and do this stretch and stay active and keeping your muscles active and actually lift from that stretch position? To me, that is proper flexibility. You can see I'm just working my way down each time. I'm just trying to get a little bit lower. I don't want to try and work all the way down to that bottom position straight away. Now again, if you're doing this for the first time and you're even less flexible than I am, you don't even have to have weights. You can just stay active. Okay, so this would be unactive and just me flopping to the ground, where this is active. I'm actually got my core turned on and I'm trying to use this muscle in here to lift me back up. And I really want to do this one today because I've been sitting in my desk chair, which is an absolute piece of shit. So if anybody watching, if you're still with us, has any recommendations for some decent desk chairs, throw them in the comments. And a lot of people are like, how long do I stretch for? Bradley, how long do they stretch for?
How long should you, or how long do you?
How long should you stretch for?
Until your muscles that you're about to work or that you need to work are warmed up.
Yeah. Exactly. However long you need.
However long you need. You can do these at work if you work behind a desk, right?
Exactly.
Pick up a few things in the office.
Again, you don't even need weights, but the idea is not to just, like, obviously if I just flop over, I'm still getting a stretch, but if you stay active through the core and then lean forwards, it's a lot deeper stretch, and again, you're probably stretching your muscles rather than the tendons and ligaments. And from here, again, I'm using my hamstring to lift me back up. I'm not just flopping all over the place. So I'm getting a bit of muscle activation as well in that stretch position. I just spent a little bit extra time on this side because it's just a little tighter.
And you're not supposed to bounce, you're supposed to just gradually go down?
Yeah, good question. If I didn't have any weight, I could probably, in this position, just sort of bounce my way down. But because I'm loading it up, I wouldn't do that. I know guys that can do that. Just because, again, they're probably a lot more flexible than I am.
Not sure if this is in focus check because I left my glasses at home. Is it autofocus?
It should be, yeah.
Right, sweet.
All right. So that was hamstrings, groin. Next one, again, this one's probably one of my favourites. Just an elevated pigeon stretch. So pigeon stretch is obviously just this on the ground, but I like this one because, again, you can do it at home, at your desk, chair, couch, whatever you have. And you can just add a little bit more movement into it. Now I'll show you how to be active with this one in a second, but for now I'm just going to get a decent stretch. But again, I'm not just flopped over in this position, keeping my back nice and flat, a little bit of engagement in that core, and I'm just trying to drop my hips down this way, which just increases that stretch a little bit. Just moving around in it, just trying to get a little bit deeper each time. All right, so bringing a bit of activeness into this, I bring my shin to the edge of the bench, hands off, and then I'm using this leg to lift myself up. Yeah, I've got this foot on the ground, but I'm actually using this glute here to try and push that down to lift me up. So slowly lower down, staying active through this glute, and then pushing my knee / shin into that box to lift me up. And then, because I am very unflexible in the twist, I am just going to sink down into that stretch. I actually have something to hold on to there, but I won't because I don't have it on the other side. But just trying to lay down. This is maybe where a weight could come in handy. Everybody's scared of adding weights to stretches, and obviously if you're very new to exercise and movements, you don't really want to add too much weight. But don't be afraid, like your body isn't as breakable as you think. So I'm just using that weight as an anchor for my shoulders, just trying to pull my body around a little bit. So I'm trying to open my chest up to the ceiling. I could even swap hands, pull that around there. My stretching face is almost probably as bad as my exercise face.
I saw you post one the other day. That was one of your best.
Other side.
So how's Keith travelling? How's his journey?
Keith's going really good. He's been smashing it lately.
I've seen him work out a couple of times. He gets a sweat going, that's for sure.
Need to get him in. He wanted to move into this building, and I wanted him to so he can come work out with us every day.
Come on, Keith.
So you can see on this side, I'm sort of holding my ankle a little bit more, only because I'm less flexible. Like this hip is a lot tighter, and every time I come down, this foot wants to sort of come around. So I'm just sort of anchoring it there a little bit more, just so I can try and get as much range and a stretch as the other side. Because as this foot comes around, obviously it wants to slip off, but also the stretch just isn't as deep. How often should you stretch, Bradley?
As often as you need, Jack.
That is correct. So again, just trying to bring that activeness into it, really trying to push down in there. Just need that little bit extra hand on this side just to really use that glutes to stretch.
I've put a mat and a roller in my living room.
You did?
And I'm loving it. Just whenever you get 10 minutes, just roll out.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It sort of becomes addictive.
That pain.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do like a foam rolling video of Bradley.
Steady on.
Any more? Like honestly, that pigeon stretch at the end is probably my go-to one every time that my back's sort of feeling a little tight. Just trying to think if there's any more. Oh, quads. The one thing I never do. See if I can do it on here. Just move my mic pack. This is called the couch stretch because you can literally do it at home. Just imagine that this is your floor and this is your couch. I'm just going to keep my upper foot on the ground. Just trying to get your shin against that couch. Oof. And look, there's definitely no... For me, there's no adding weight or activation or anything to this stretch because as you can see...
Is that just the quad? You're working the quad there?
Yeah, quad, hip flexor. So ideally, you don't want... So you can see how your my quad's coming up and then at the hip I'm hinged over. That's bad. Okay, so you don't want that tightness through there. Because obviously that's stopping me from opening up through here. The quad's that tight, the hip flexor's that tight that I can't open up. So even in this position here, I'm trying to pull back, but my back's super arched. That's because my quad is so tight. And yes, everybody watching, I know it's bad. Shut up.
Why are your quads so tight?
Just because I'm quad dominant. So as you know that I've got big quads, my quads just tend to grow, and because they are more dominant than my glutes, so every time I sort of do a leg exercise, my quads are sort of active and taken over. So you could even say when I walk, I probably walk a little bit more quad dominant. So, you know, if you're doing your 10,000 steps a day, that's 5,000 reps on this side. That's a little bit more than the glutes, so it tightens up.
So what are the pros and cons of being quad dominant?
I don't know.
I mean, is it a good thing?
I don't think it's good or bad. I think just it is what it is. I did want to add in today to this video the pullovers that we were doing last week. So everybody stay tuned for some actual upper body active stretching. How'd you pull up after those ones? A little sore for the rest of the week? The lat pullovers?
Yeah, very much so. Good sore.
Yeah. So as you can see, I'm just coming in and out of it because that stretch is quite intense for me. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of a break and then coming back into it. And just sort of, I'm actually using this leg to push myself into that thing, Pilates box, is the technical term.
I think a visitor just walked in. Did I see Macklin?
Yeah, Mac's on the rower. She's down for the workout. If you want to see the workout, this is the same workout as what we did the other day with Bradley. So if you go back a few videos and search mic'd up workout with Bradley, you'll see the workout we're about to do. And it's the last week in the phase. Next week, Bradley, we go into a new phase. Whew.
Say that again.
Next week, we go into a new program.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a smash out before Christmas. What have we got, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Just smashing it out. Summer bods on. So you can see this side is even worse. Like I literally can't straighten up anymore just because that quad is so tight. Oh, and the hip flexor. I'm really trying to pull myself, like push and pull myself into it. Obviously that's where foam rolling and all that sort of stuff comes in handy as well. And you can see why I almost forgot to stretch the quads, because that never happens. I'm just trying to use both sides to try and get that stretch a little bit better. So if I twist that way, it just sort of changes the stretch a little bit. Where if I come this way, just hitting different parts of the quads. So again, this is what I mean, like I'm super tight here and it's a big struggle, so I'm definitely not adding weight or trying to bring any activeness into it. Like you could do like a sissy squat or a Nordic drop or reverse Nordic curl or something like that to get big stretch and activation through your quads, which if I'm good at my editing skills, I'll put over the top of these. But those two exercises are really good for stretching out your quads in an active way. But again, sometimes certain body parts just need a little bit of extra attention. Whew. Like my quads and hip flexors.
Hey, this record button's gone off. I don't think I've been recording.
What? What's it saying?
Doesn't say anything.
Oh no.
Only joking, Jack.
Oh really? You got me. You got me. All right, so that is how to stretch like a inflexible middle-aged male. If you enjoyed that video, send Bradley a message and say thanks for filming. Like I said, we're going to do one more exercise out there though, but we'll stop and we'll start back out there. Whether we can talk through it or not, I don't know. Bradley, I just don't know. Good.
Right, Keith.
Thanks, Keith. Hope you enjoyed the stretching. Do the stretches yourself and let us know how you go in the comments. Not just Keith, but everybody and Bradley as well.